Սիրելի հյուրեր, խոսքը փոխանցում եմ Հայաստանում ՄԱԿ-ի մշտական համակարգող հարգարժան պարոն Շոմբի Շարփի.
Barabzes, Barior, Bolarit, Excellencies, Prime Minister, President of National Assembly, Human Rights Defender of Armenia, ambassadors, distinguished guests, members of Parliament. It's a great honor on behalf of the United Nations system to be here with you today in this National Assembly hall, at the very center of democratic and citizen power, the essence of accountable governance, to celebrate 15 years of the Human Rights Defender institution of Armenia. And if I could just take a very quick step back, as other speakers have, and reflect on the momentous year that we experienced last year here in Armenia. And I mean not just the 70th anniversary that we marked of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, nor the European Convention on Human Rights, which came into force soon thereafter. Both of these cornerstone agreements, of course, for the first time assuring everybody across the world that all rights apply to them, civil, political, economic, social, and cultural, regardless of race and gender, belief, or other distinctions, that human rights are universal and indivisible, the only question being how to enforce them, and that is very much the topic of today. Secondly, of course, here in Armenia, we witnessed a remarkable, peaceful revolution, a stand for the rights and freedoms that resonated, in fact, across the world, with women and young people at the core, bringing life to these declarations here in Armenia. And as the UN Secretary General noted at the time during the General Assembly, a reason to hope that upcoming generations will do better than the previous. And I think in this sense, he meant both Yeri Tesardner, Yev Hokov Yeri Tesardner, the young and the young at heart, for those of us who have gray hair. Last year also marked the 20th anniversary of the of the Declaration on Human Rights Defenders, recognizing those who serve to protect people in the face of rising intolerance, racism, repression across the world. Standing at the confluence of these two important streams, we cannot overstate the importance of the Human Rights Defender's Office as an independent state institution, providing a bridge between citizens, civil society, and accountable government. And this role played out so visibly, so viscerally in last year's events and must continue as we move ahead. The scope and the demands of the Ombudsperson Office are in fact so broad and so weighty that the first European Union Ombudsperson, Jacob Soderman, once noted that the Ombudsperson is compared often to a Batman or a Superman. I'm sorry to say, in the end he concluded the Ombudsperson is neither Batman nor Superman, but a very strong emblem and symbol of the hope, the great hope and the great need for people to understand that the average citizen can achieve lawful rights in the face of great power. Thus the need for a strong human rights defender and the need for strong partnerships. And this is why I'm very proud that we in the UN country team here in Armenia have been supporting the Human Rights Defender's Office since its inception, and so pleased now to have such a robust partnership together with our European Union colleagues, helping to implement human rights budget support through the joint UN action, promotion and protection of human rights in Armenia, collective effort of UNDP, UNICEF, and UNFPA, supporting such priority areas that have already been mentioned as the prevention of torture and ill treatment, anti-discrimination law, gender equality, child rights, follow-up, the European Court of Human Rights case law, and other international legal instruments such as the Universal Periodic Review of the UN Human Rights Council. And of course, as has been mentioned, to engage in important campaigns to raise public awareness on Human Rights Defender Office services provided to survivors of domestic violence, noting again that yesterday was the International Day of Elimination of all forms of violence against women, and that we are now in the middle of the 16 days of activism, bridging that day with International Human Rights Day on December 10th. So let me conclude by saying that the protection of human rights is not only a matter of universal values, but also a key to achieving Agenda 2030 and the Sustainable Development Goals, to achieving Armenia's long-term transformation strategy. In the words of the Secretary General, we will not enjoy security without sustainable development. We will not enjoy sustainable development without security, and we will enjoy neither without respect for human rights. So congratulations to the Human Rights Defender's Office, Mr. Tatoyan, and all of his team on this happy birthday. I think it is no surprise that you remain in full compliance with the Paris Principles for Human Rights Defenders institutions and continue to enjoy the highest A status reaccredited in 2019. Shnorhavor Tonet.